On Christmas Eve, 1945, the Sodder family was preparing for a festive celebration in their home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. The air was filled with the scent of pine from the Christmas tree, and the children were excitedly hanging their stockings by the fireplace. The Sodder family, consisting of George and Jenny Sodder and their 10 children, were looking forward to a joyous holiday. However, the night took a tragic turn when a devastating fire broke out, engulfing the Sodder family home in flames. The fire spread rapidly, consuming the wooden structure and leaving the family in a state of panic and despair. Despite the efforts of George and Jenny to save their children, 5 of the 10 Sodder children were believed to have died in the blaze. The fire department, hindered by the holiday and a lack of manpower, arrived too late to save the house or the children trapped inside. But something didn't add up. The Sodders began to notice inconsistencies and strange occurrences that made them question the official explanation of the fire. No remains were ever found. Despite a thorough search of the ruins, not a single bone or fragment of the children's bodies was discovered. This was highly unusual, as even in the most intense fires, some remains are typically found, not a single trace of the children's bodies. The absence of remains led the Sodders to believe that their children might not have perished in the fire after all. Unsettling clues began to emerge: cut phone lines, a missing ladder, and a malfunctioning truck that prevented George from driving to get help. These anomalies suggested that the fire might have been set deliberately and that someone had tampered with their property to ensure the family's isolation during the crisis. And witnesses who claimed to have seen the children alive after the fire. Several people reported seeing the children in the days and weeks following the fire, adding to the growing suspicion that they had been abducted. The Sodder family suspected something far darker, that their children had been kidnapped. They believed that the fire was a cover-up for the abduction and that their children were still out there, somewhere, that their children had been kidnapped. The family launched their own investigation, distributing flyers and placing ads in newspapers, pleading for any information about their missing children. Years later, a strange letter arrived, addressed to Jenny Sodder. The letter contained a photograph of a young man who bore a striking resemblance to one of the missing boys, Louis. The back of the photo had a cryptic message, suggesting that Louis was alive and well, with a photo of a man who looked like one of the missing boys. The Sodders were both hopeful and heartbroken as the photo reignited their search for answers. But the mystery was never solved. Despite their relentless efforts, the Sodder family never found definitive proof of what happened to their children. The case remains one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries in American history. What really happened to the Sodder children? The question continues to haunt the surviving family members and those who have studied the case. Was it a tragic accident, or was there a more sinister plot at play? The truth may never be known, but the story of the Sodder children serves as a poignant reminder of the enduring power of hope and the unbreakable bond of family.